Hello and welcome to the Pixel Venture podcast. We're sorry that we were on a bit of a hiatus, but high school got pretty busy because Jake and I were actually graduating. Anyways, my name's Corey.
And I'm Jake.
And with us today, we finally have him, guys. It's Ethan. Say hi.
Hello, guys.
Guess what, Ethan?
I don't know, that kind of sounds like an Ethan to me.
Yeah, no.
Okay, who was this imposter this time? Because we had Ryan last time.
No, guys, I'm Ethan.
Now, who are you legitimately guessed?
Okay, hi, guys. I'm Kaylin. Your resident trash.
Well, we all are resident trash. Why do you think we're in this podcast?
Yep.
Anyways, so guess who isn't able to be on the podcast again? Because he's, an adult and has important things to do and a future to plan, or that, whatever that dumb stuff is.
And, games to code and whatever.
Yeah, and friends to have. Yeah. Who spends all this time with friends,
I know I don't.
Anyways, Kaylin, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
So, I'm a junior in high school, and
Sorry.
I have become an expert on K-pop and Korea, because I like to study those things.
Anything else?
I don't know. I am an avid fan of K-pop.
But, yeah, so, Kaylin, actually, I don't know why, she ended up listening to the first episode of the podcast and was like, yo, let me get in on this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's here now. So, what we're actually going to do is, what Kaylin just said. We're going to be talking a little bit about Korea, K-pop, and things like that in general. And this is going to be another episode where Jake barely talks because he doesn't know anything about it. I know a little bit about it.
Alright, guys, I'm gonna go take a nap for the next half hour. You two have fun.
Yahoo!
Okay, so, I guess the first question I can ask you is, how did you get into K-pop? Because it's kind of like I don't want to say it's a weird genre to get into if you live out, like, in the U.S., but I feel like it's not like a traditional genre,
Yeah, but when I think it was back in 2015 when I first really started exploring it. I don't know what brought me into it. I just kind of saw something and I'm like, I think I'm gonna look more into this. What is K-pop? And basically, I found a couple songs that I liked, and then I started getting more into like actual artists that I liked. And then it just went all downhill from there.
Okay, one thing that everyone who's listening should know is that Kaylin is even harder on herself than I am. I know that's going to be hard to believe, but if you hear her be self-deprecating throughout this entire thing, don't be surprised.
Woohoo. Let's go.
I'm so... Anyways, sorry to take that to a grinding halt. Jake, is there anything you want to talk about? Did you encounter K-pop?
Sorry for being self-deprecating.
Okay.
Wow, this is... man, taking a month hiatus has not helped us at all.
Yep.
We are back to being awkward and weird like the first episode. Anyways.
At least we're consistent with our content in terms of quality.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. People don't expect anything from us, so we're good.
Yeah.
Anyways, so since you, Kaylin, are pretty big into K-pop and stuff, can you give us like a brief Clip Notes history of like how K-pop sort of flourished into what it is now?
Yeah, originally it was more of like a Korean thing, and it didn't expand much into the US and worldwide market until the viral video Gangnam Style by Psy.
Oh God.
I think he really opened up the world to K-pop, because right after his video Gangnam Style became viral, there was this whole expansion into America and as well as other countries, and that's when these different groups and different companies
Yeah.
started getting really popular.
Are you referring to sort of like artists like Big Bang and sort of people like that?
Yeah, some of the first so I think Big Bang's considered a second generation artist, but groups like Big Bang's,
Well, it's like Pokemon.
they have generations in K-pop. But some
Okay.
of the bigger ones at the time were Super Junior, Big Bang, and Girls' Generation.
Yeah, I've definitely heard Girls' Generation and Big Bang before.
Yeah.
Like, what is that whole thing with the companies? Because I know that like America has like record producers and stuff like that. Is that like, do they serve the same purpose?
Not necessarily. Basically, companies control the artist. It's almost like they own the artist. They take in people as what they call trainees. So the company trains them in like their vocals or their rapping and dancing and stuff. And there's a lot of qualifications to becoming a K-pop artist. If you've seen them before, their dance moves are just fantastic, and you can tell how much they worked to get where they are right now. And so
So does that sort of play into why you like K-pop? It's just like an appreciation for the amount of work that they have to put in?
Yeah, I think that's, yeah.
Yeah, I can totally respect just because like you've shown me a few like K-pop dancing videos and stuff, and I think after the podcast I'll send one Jake's way. But it's super impressive.
Yeah.
Just like the dedication that they have for it.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So you already mentioned a few K-pop groups which are kind of like popular. Is there any more that that you'd say is like, check these guys out, or these are people that are like somewhat important?
Well, those ones that I mentioned before are kind of old school. Currently, the ones that are most popular are BTS, EXO, Monsta X, Twice, AOA. There's some solo artists that are kind of popular now too.
Yeah, and maybe in the description of the podcast we'll have Kaylin like make like a playlist of some recommendations.
I can do that.
Maybe just like a handful of songs that would be just interesting.
Yeah.
So wait, Jake, because you're a host on the podcast as well.
Yeah.
What does like sort of the structure or like the companies and stuff like K-pop? What is it sort of? Does it remind you of anything? Like anything like Western?
Isn't Big Bang an American sitcom?
Yes, but also a K-pop group.
All right, next question.
That about shows you my knowledge on the music industry.
Yeah, before we got into the call, Jake literally just told me, he was like, I know nothing about this. This is going to be 2 episodes of me just being silent and occasionally saying a joke that people will find funny.
One day we'll find a fellow Blizzard enthusiast for me to talk with, and then you can be silent for 3 episodes.
Dude, I play Blizzard games. I play the Overwatch and StarCraft.
World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe a fellow PvPer, as in player versus player. That isn't a shooter.
I love how you... I love that you had to say, like, player versus player, not Pixel Venture Podcast.
Yeah, you're already a fellow PvPer there.
Yeah, and right now Kaylin's an honorary PvPer.
Yeah.
But wow, we're good at getting on tangents.
Woohoo!
Anyways,
you know what else is good? K-pop.
Yep.
I mean, you don't know that, but I think it's pretty good. Jake, you should listen to some K-pop. You should put down the 2 hours of beautiful cello, piano, whatever the orchestral stuff you listen to.
I mean, I started listening to I've heard like a little bit of baby metal, and I'm like, No thanks.
Baby metal's Japanese, isn't it?
Yeah, don't trigger me like this.
JK.
JK pop.
JK pop.
Anyways, so one thing that you actually wanted to talk about is apparently there's like some current like scandals going on, and I love to gossip. I'm pretty sure everyone in the call knows I like to gossip. So what's going on? Give me the details.
Whoa, you have no idea what's happening. It's crazy.
Well, I don't. That's why I'm asking you.
But anyway, it's crazy. I'll leave the big story until I get through some of the other stuff. So
Yeah.
So to begin, it looks like two K-pop groups are gonna be having a comeback soon. So Monsta X and Blackpink are currently gearing up for a comeback.
Ooh.
Which is exciting, and
yeah, I mean that's good because Monsta X, from all the music that you sent me, I thought I liked them.
Yeah.
Like, I liked them a lot. I mean, BTS was also really good. But like I don't know, it's just their style that kind of like I was like yeah.
I think they're doing a repackaging of their most recent album, The Clan Part 2.5 Beautiful, I think that's what they're gonna do. But yeah, Blackpink has been promising to drop some more music, and now they're finally gonna do it.
Woo.
Okay, what else? So Sistar disbanded after 7 years, and they recently released.
What would you say is like their more famous like tracks, if people like could have heard of them before?
Touch My Body. That's definitely the most famous one. That is. It is an iconic K-pop song. Everyone knows that song.
Yeah, iconic K-pop songs: "Touch My Body" and "Daddy Yes."
There is a song called Daddy. There's a song "Daddy" by Psy. That's kind of iconic in some respect.
Let's just move on.
But they released their final track called "Lonely."
Oh yeah, you showed me that.
Did I? I don't know. I don't remember. Sorry.
I think you sent me something where it's just like this group was disbanded and they would release like one last sad song.
It could have been them. I think a lot of K-pop groups do that. They just released one last sad song. 21 did the same thing.
I think that might have been the one that you showed me.
It might have been 21.
21.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like these, like a few girls and there was like a pool.
Oh, that
like
was Sistar, yeah.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
I just led us in a circle. Okay.
Yeah, 21's another iconic group. I forgot to mention them before. But let's get on to the
before we get to like the big news. Hey Jake, is there some juicy Warcraft or anything gossip around you?
Eren Yeager's mom go down, I go frown.
Nice.
Wrong country.
Well,
if you say close enough, you're going to get. Yeah, if you say close enough, Kaylin's going to get pissed. Like, come on. All right. Anyways, continue. What is the big juicy gossip? Lay it on me.
Okay, so you know how I mentioned Big Bang before?
Yeah.
Well, one of the members that's currently serving in the military had a big scandal. So basically, marijuana is very illegal in Korea. And
because it's like a really conservative culture, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. But he got caught using it, and oh boy, that is not a good thing to do.
He smoked a weed?
Yeah, he did the drugs. He did the weeds.
He did a weed, a singular weed.
Multiple times, apparently.
Wacko Jacko, laying on his backo. Nobody's going to remember that because that is super old. And why did I say that?
It's before my time.
Yeah, it's even before my time. So I don't know why I said it.
Okay. But anyway, back to the scandal.
Wait, that wasn't it?
No, there's more.
Oh, okay.
It was only a singular weed, Corey.
Multiple times he had a singular weed.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So he had a lot of weed.
Since it's very illegal, he got kicked out of the police division that he was in the army, and he has to re-enlist because they have a mandatory 2-year military service. But
well,
today,
damn. You know what that shows, kids? Don't do the drugs, or life become bad.
Well, there's more to this story.
I know. I am so inspirational. Can we get that on a t-shirt? If we ever end up having merch, can I get that on a t-shirt?
Yes.
Sweet. I mean, we're probably never going to have merch. But like...
No, with that attitude.
But I might just go on Custom Ink and buy it myself.
Nice.
Dude, we'll definitely have merchandise in the future.
Yeah, if we even remember to film the next episode.
Oh, we will.
Now you have to.
Alright. I mean, I guess if people are interested in merch or that, like, later on, then, yeah, I could design some stuff. Anyways,
Okay.
Is that all for the gossip?
No, the story is still unfolding.
Okay.
We still have not heard the end of the story. Oh, with
So
Paul.
he smoked a weed. The police kicked him out.
Well, he got kicked out of the police division in the army, and
Mhm.
he has to re-enlist. But this morning, he was found unconscious. It seems. It looks like he overdosed, and he's currently in the hospital.
Oh. That's not good.
Yeah, I think it.
Man go down, people give frown.
Yep.
Jake already made that
Sorry,
joke.
Tough.
I'm sorry.
It's gone full circle.
But yeah, it seems like it's due to all the stress that he's been facing.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say that I don't understand, like, why he would sort of, like, do that or, like, put himself in danger of overdose. But, like, come on. You're already caught with it, like, once. So you don't want to, like, go to, I don't know, putting your career even more in jeopardy.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyways.
Okay. Okay, so I have some more brief news stuff.
Alright. Like the
so-
underwear.
What did you say to me?
Continue. Sorry.
Okay, I just. Okay, so one of the ex-members of the group Wonder Girl, which is also kind of iconic, and her father was caught embezzling. How much was it? $18 million US.
What?
Yeah, her father was allegedly embezzled $18 million.
For what? Like, why? What?
So basically, he's a pastor, and like he got people to give him money.
Oh,
Like, it was like
is it like a TV evangelist?
kind of? It was they like invested in him.
Oh, was it like the type of people that go on TV and they're just like, if you love Jesus, you'll send me $50.
Yeah, like he promised that they would get a lot of money in return, like eventually. So yeah, that didn't turn out so well for them, did it?
Yeah. Hey, Jake, have you ever thought about becoming a TV evangelist? I feel like you could do that.
Of course, yes.
What would be your name?
Benjamin, give me money.
Mine would be Father Hyuk.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dude, we should like tag team it. We would be the best of TV evangelists.
We would be the greatest TV financialists.
Evangelist. That's like referring to being like doing the whole
Evangeli-
Jesus thing.
We would be great.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so sorry, Kaylin, that I keep on cutting you off to say really dumb stuff.
It's okay.
Don't even try to fit me into this one, Corey. It's just not gonna work.
I mean, it's working so far.
I'm
You've been
too-
talking a lot.
I'm too American and European centric.
I mean, dude, I'm like almost all Irish. So this is like...
Okay.
Anyways, so continue because I keep on cutting you off, Caitlin.
Okay, so the last piece of news we'll go through is that one a company Fantagio is gonna debut a new girl group. Hooray!
Ooh. Do they have like a name released, or is it just like, yeah, someone's coming out?
Uh, in a lot of companies they have like names for groups that haven't debuted yet. Like these ones are called the iTeen Girls, which
Hmm.
is just like a play off of their name. But they revealed 3 members,
Okay.
and yep, one
Got.
of the members is from an ex-girl group that was formed by a show that they do.
Hmm. Wait, was it that like what was it? It was like some talent show.
It's called Produce 101.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yep.
Uh, I I was going to be really stupid and butt in before you said anything and just be like, were they hot?
Uh, you can judge that for yourself.
I mean, were they?
I'll check it later. You can like send a link or something. I don't know.
Oh.
Okay.
What do you mean? Oh, would you like to explain yourself, Jake?
No.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure you do want to explain yourself.
No. I wasn't prepared for this.
Dude, we need to know the truth.
So why is K-pop an interesting music genre for you as opposed to some other Western music? Yeah.
Eloquent.
A bit
Thank
tough.
you.
But I'm not really sure. I don't know what it is that really drew me in, and no, it was not the hot guys, but that is always a
Are you
part
sure?
of it.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a big part of it for you.
I think it's just that I really like the style of music that they do, and I really like how they focus a lot on dancing, not just the singing.
Because, like, a lot of pop music, or, like, at least the music videos that you've shown me for, like, K-pop, comparing to, like, American pop, the music videos that they have are way more focused on, like, dancing and the actual, like, singers and the movements and stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas over here, it's like everyone's like, we need to tell a deep, emotional story, while Taylor Swift has vocals in the background. Because now you have problems, and I don't think you can solve them.
Well, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Real smooth, Corey.
Hey, smoother than your, like, introduction to the fucking question. Oh, wow. There goes the kitty gloves.
What I find interesting is how you have people who are interested in anime and other forms of Asian culture, i.e., Ryan, and I think even to an extent, Corey, but they don't seem to be as into K-pop as you are, Kaylin.
Yeah, I feel
Well, like, coming from, like, my...
That's my more eloquent input.
Coming from my... that was very good, Jake. But coming sort of from my, like, viewpoint, it's... I've listened to a few K-pop songs and just, like, from what Kaylin's just sent me, and I've enjoyed them, but it's like... Everybody's going to have that one genre of music that they really like and that they won't really, like, gravitate away from. And they'll sort of keep coming back. And that's one thing that I actually liked about K-pop is that one of my favorite genres of music is electronic, and K-pop uses a lot of electronic, like, influences. So that was, like, perfect for me. I don't know. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say that people seem to think that K-pop only encompasses just pop, but really it's a wide range of different things. You can find basically anything from ballads to like dubstep.
Yeah, it's sort of like all-encompassing.
Yeah.
Like, K-pop itself, it's a genre, but there's, like, a ton of different subgenres. It's just like electronic music in that sense. And that's why I feel like I could get into, like, K-pop because of just how it allows you to be so creative in, like, what you create. Like, that being said, would you say that, like, a lot of K-pop songs compared to, like, American pop songs are a lot more sort of, like, emotionally driven or more like inspired by, like, artists' events? Because, like, one thing that I don't really like about a lot of pop music is that it follows like a few of like the same subjects, like go to a party, there's someone that you like, or something like that, you know?
Yeah. And I
Like,
think
do you feel like K-pop sort of like breaks from that?
it all depends on the artist. Like you'll find some weird songs that just don't really mean anything. But if you
Mm-hmm.
look at like my favorite group, BTS, all their music is it's never like about going to parties and like clubbing and doing all those things. They've like deep messages and there's like some political stuff and it's not
Yeah.
just
So
about love stories too.
if I could compare them to a Western band, not in the style of music, but like sort of the content of it, where it's more like instead of like clubs and parties and stuff, it's like given a message. Would you say that sort of like the structure that Gorillaz has for their music would be like comparable to like that?
I
Sort of like
don't
having an emotional side?
well, I don't know much about the Gorillas, but
I know
maybe
way too much about Gorillaz.
maybe.
I don't know. I'd recommend Gorillaz to people purely because like all their songs, like no two songs by them sound really the same, and they all have their own sort of message, and that's what I
Hmm.
really enjoy. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why you enjoy like BTS and sort of K-pop in general.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I also like.
Anyways,
Thanks for
oh no,
interrupting
you can
some more.
continue. I was going to. Okay, I'm sorry. Jake, help me.
But anyway, I was going to say something. What was I gonna say? I think I forgot it. Thanks
Damn
to
it,
you,
I
Corey.
fucked everything up.
Oh, I remember. One thing I really liked is that it seems that more artists in K-pop have a like do something in the song. Like they'll like write lyrics or help produce it and stuff.
Hmm.
Which is so different to like American pop where they have all these songwriters and stuff.
Yeah, and that's why it's like it kind of sucks because since there's so many different like actual like people who are like professional songwriters, you get like caught in that sort of like go to the club. There's someone you like that kind of formula. So finding original music and or like original lyrics and stuff is somewhat difficult in America. Not saying that it's not possible, but it feels like you have to go out of your way in order to find that.
Yeah.
Huh. Anyways, one thing that I did want to talk about, which was like we've been talking about a lot of positives about K-pop because K-pop as a genre, it's a lot of fun, and I recommend actually checking out some of the songs. Like we said earlier, Kaylin will put together sort of like a small playlist of song recommendations, and we'll put that in chat, and you can listen for it yourself. Um,
Woohoo.
but what I do want to talk about. Oh, bark, 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 bark.
Sorry.
Bark, bark, bark. Bark, 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 bark.
It's
Bark.
my dad.
Bark, 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 bark. Bark, 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 bark. Sorry.
It's gonna be fun to
Hey,
edit
Jake, have fun
this
listening to
out.
that. Bark, 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 bark. Okay.
I'll have fun keeping
Bark,
that in the
bark,
final
bark,
cut.
bark, bark. Bark, bark. Bark. Sorry. Anyways, so what I do want to talk about is we've been talking about a lot of the positives with K-pop.
Hmm.
And what I want to sort of delve into is that you've told me a lot of dark things about it, or sort of like what the industry does behind the scenes, and that like not everything is like squeaky clean, nice, and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in hearing about that because just like as a genre, K-pop is fantastic, and I think people should listen to it. But there's a lot of things that go on that people don't know.
Yeah, I wrote a whole essay about this actually. So I'll probably
JRP.
I did mediocre on that. I got a B, but anyway.
Whoa!
But yeah,
What's the JRP?
the junior research.
Who's going to answer?
What? No, sorry,
Bark.
there's just things going
Bark,
on
bark, bark,
downstairs.
bark, bark, bark. Okay.
My dogs are barking.
No, but the JRP is a research paper that you do junior year, the junior research paper, and you choose a topic that involves a country outside of the U.S. and you have to research it and sort of write about it. Like I did mine about self-censorship in Japan and like how they're doing that in order to prep for the Olympic Games. I don't know what Jake did. Jake, what did you do for yours?
I did mine on the Renaissance because I think it's a cool time period that they don't teach you about anymore.
Anyways, so Kaylin, you did yours.
And Leonardo's kind of cool.
Yeah, Leonardo's, dude, he's my favorite turtle. Anyway, Kaylin, you said your paper was about the dark sort of underbelly of K-pop. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Sure, but I kind of want to start out with how I counter-argued the main point of my junior research paper, which was I wrote about how companies should treat their artists better, but it's one thing to consider. You have to consider how much money goes into debuting an actual group. Like these companies, they pay for housing, food, lessons for trainees, and it actually costs an estimated $1.6 billion to debut a group. And even though they spend so much money, you don't know that the group is actually gonna return the profit. And
because you don't know what the general audience will want, you know?
Yeah, and this happened with Cube Entertainment. They started to they've recently been facing a deficit. This is due to another iconic group here, Beast, leaving the company to start their own label, as well as the TAD program, or the THAAD program, which was a thing where South Korea was making missiles, and China didn't like
missiles.
I don't know. I don't know why I said missiles. But anyway, so China started cutting off Korean entertainment within China, and this caused a lot of problems. But you also have to consider that these kids are so young. Like, some of these kids... Okay, so there's this group called NCT Dream, and these kids range from 15 to 18, and they must have been trainees for like 3 or 4 years, and they'd be little kids at the time, and that's a lot. It's a lot to balance, like, being like training and going to school.
Yeah, so there would be like 12 when they started training, and then they would get like. So like, if you wanted to have like a 15-year-old, like how early would they start training?
It all depends. Like, some people don't start training until like they're like 16 or above, and then there's some people who are like pretty young. I think G Dragon was kind of young when he started when he became a trainee. I don't remember how old he was, but he was kind of young. But these people come from like miles around to be a trainee. Like, they leave behind their families just to live out their dream as an idol.
And like, the industry is incredibly cutthroat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the industry itself is kind of sexist, I would say. Like, not within the U.S., but like within Korea, because there's a lot of control by the companies. They control like diet and exercise and things like that, and
to give them like the ideal body.
Yeah, and it's pretty bad. Like the things that go on within the companies.
Yeah. Well, that's, I don't know, my personal opinion is that people shouldn't have to sacrifice everything in order to like pursue what they love.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It's just like I absolutely love film, and I do love like teaching and stuff like that because that's what I'm going to college for. But I'm not going to throw everything away that I have just to do that.
Yeah.
Because I would like to have like a backup. So you do have to sort of like give credit to K-pop artists for having the courage to just leave everything behind or to pursue a dream which they don't even know would happen.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we're getting close to 40 minutes. Woo!
Yeah, there was a lot of fooling around in there, so.
Yeah, so that's going to be like 35 minutes. Anyways, so in summary, why do you think people should listen to K-pop?
Because it's so good and they put a lot of time and effort to look their best on stage, dance their best. They put in hours and hours of practicing just to go on stage. And they're pretty darn cute too,
Yeah.
and they make good music.
Yeah. If anything, definitely like support them because of how much work they put in. Because like it's like supporting any artist in America. Like you listen to like James Taylor or something. Like you're supporting him by that. So it wouldn't be weird. I feel like it's not too outlandish to be like, yeah, let's support other countries, like artists. Because in the end, music is music, no matter where it comes from, you know? Anyways, so with that out of the way, Kaylin, where can people find you on social media?
Follow my Instagram at Incocentivus. I'll spell it for you guys because it's an odd name.
I mean, you don't really have to spell it out because we're just going to put it in the description.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, feel free to spell it if you want. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
I'm good.
Well, I kind of did.
It's fine. I just put in the description.
All right. And my Instagram and Twitter are in the description box below. And yes, after a month hiatus, Jake still doesn't have anything. So please bug him. Anyways, I'd like to thank Kaylin for taking the time out of her schedule to record this with us.
Woohoo.
Ethan, thanks for not being here again. You jerk. Nah, he's off actually doing stuff that'll help him in his future. So, yeah.
Wow, look at him being productive. What an idiot.
What an idiot. But, yeah. Ethan, I swear to God, if you're not on the next episode, I know where you live. I am going to go over to your house and delete your Halo save data. That is not a threat. That is a promise.
We will venture over to his house to get rid of his pixels.
Whoa.
Oh my God. Jake? That was really good.
It was awful, I know.
Okay, I'm gonna wrap this shit up. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. I've been Corey.
I've been Jake.
And I'm your special guest, Kaylin.
And thank you for listening to this episode. We'll see you next week, hopefully. Bye.
Bye.
See you.
Hello, welcome to the Pixel Venture Podcast. This week is going to be a bit different. We wanted to do more of an update. So, as always, I'm Corey.
And I'm Jake.
And yeah, like I said, there was quite a big hiatus between like this episode and the previous episode, and also like just the previous episode to episode 3. And short answer is a lot of things happened as far as school goes, personal lives, and such things. So we thought it would be a good opportunity for us to sort of talk about what happened and sort of our plans for the future.
Yeah.
So the big thing that happened and was sort of the reason for the hiatus was finals and graduation. Because Jake and I, if you didn't already know, we were seniors in high school, and we were kind of going through the final process of graduation and such. So what we had to do was study. Well, honestly, I didn't study too much, but I did work really hard on my senior project. Jake was sort of in the same shoes as me. And also there was just graduation with celebrations and the whole event itself and things like that. So now that it's the summer, we got some free time. But Jake, Is there anything specifically that you want to talk about that you did between episode 3 and 4?
There's been a lot that's happened since episode, what was it, between 3 and 4, where we had like 2 months of nothing really happening.
Yeah.
I was in like a similar boat to you between like finals and senior project, which we'll get onto a little bit because I know a lot of people probably wouldn't know what that is. But like especially me, like I had like 3 AP classes that all had their own AP finals, so yeah, and I did have to do a lot of work for senior project as well, not only because I had my own project to work on, but I also made a series of documentaries about someone else's senior project. So that took up a ton of time as well.
Yeah, because you were tasked along with a few other students to create it?
Yep. They were in teams of 2, so though there was technically like a couple of people, I think there were like 10 people in total. It was broken up into like groups of 2, and we each followed like one senior around. And we like documented their senior project and kind of elaborated on what it entailed.
Who was the person that you got? Well, you don't need to say names, just kind of describe what their project was.
Their project was well, I think first we just need to say what a senior project is. I'm gonna be kind of brief about what it is because, again, I did make the documentary series, so, if you want a more in-depth view of what it's actually like, you could see that...
Oh my god! You're seriously going to plug it right now.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Hey, I spent an entire year making that. Like, give me a little bit of credit working with a professional documentarian and being employed as a commissioner to, like, make these videos.
Wait. Look at me. My name's Jake. I have an impressive portfolio. Ooh, I know what portfolio means.
Sorry for spending hours editing and filming someone's project.
Yeah.
But yeah. Plus, like, that gives us more time to do other things, so... You know, if we, like, keep it brief here, we can talk on other things later, so...
Yeah, I'm just messing with Jake right now. I actually do care about what he has to say. So, where could we find it?
You can find it on a website, or you will eventually be able to find it on a website called Reaching Higher New Hampshire. So, the guy I followed, his name was Sean. I'm not going to give, like, a last name or anything, but you'll be seeing it online, so it won't really matter. But, yeah, Sean...
Call him the Lego Man.
But, yeah, Sean's project was, he made a 3D printed, droid head from Star Wars, and he used, coding to make it move around and have flashing lights and things like that. It was kind of interesting to just follow him around and film him, and, you know, I went to his house a couple of times to see, like, his little workshop he has in his basement. I went to a little 3D printing lab that he goes to do his 3D printing. And, you know, it's just kind of cool to see, like, what he was doing with his, senior project and how his panel, because in senior projects you have a panel of people that basically, at certain checkpoints, will basically say, yeah, you passed, you can keep working on it, or you failed, come see us again at some later point, and we'll pass you then, essentially.
It's a way to sort of keep us on track and to make sure that we're not, like, slacking off, because this is a huge undertaking.
And it also kind of, like, puts everything into a format of, like, when things should get done. Like, there's, like, the way the documentaries were broken up. I at least made 4 of them. The first one was one just kind of about the proposal of what he wanted to do, and kind of gone to more about, like, what he, like, who he is and what he wants to do. The second one was about, like, the research he did to not only, like, figure out how to do this, but also, like, him just messing around with 3D printing his parts and working with the Arduino coding that he was using. And then there was the applied piece, which is the thing that you actually make in the senior project, and I made a video all about him kind of putting everything together and kind of rushing to, like, get everything together. And then there's the presentation at the end, which is, the presentation is just you presenting what you made and what you found in, what is it, 20 to 25 minutes? That's like the...
yeah, 20, 25. That's sort of like the goal for how long you should talk.
Yeah, and so that's kind of like the summary of everything you did, and that's basically where you, like, figure out, like, did you pass it or did you not? other than like a little essay they have to do.
It's also presented in front of underclassmen. Like, the students get to choose what project, well, at least I know juniors and sophomores, I believe, get to choose what projects they go to. And you sort of like go, and it's really cool to actually like learn about all these interests and how diverse a grade is. That being said, Jake and I both did ones involving film.
Yes, and we even made our applied pieces together using the same footage, but we did them differently. So, what'd you do for your senior project, Corey?
For my senior project, I did how does one film a short action comedy film effectively. Sort of like going into what makes an action film good, what makes comedy good, sort of like specifics of how to frame it, how to do it. And it was just a lot of fun doing the research and actually doing the applied piece with you and a few other people. Overall, I'd say it was a pretty good experience. As for, do you want me to go into like specifics of what I did?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so specifics of what I did, I researched a lot about post-production, because a lot of post-production stuff that I did, I just kind of went by my gut, and I didn't really think about, oh, this works because of these reasons. I was just like, oh, I like the color red. Let's make everything slightly more red. And like, I didn't know exactly why that was effective. So going in and learning more about that was really appealing. There's also the aspect of sort of being part of each piece of production of the film. Like, I was a scriptwriter, I was the director, I helped with actual, like, I wouldn't really call it stunt coordination, but I helped with figuring out what actions the actors should do. I did post-production and presented it. It was actually a lot of fun because I wasn't prepared to have people clap at the end of my presentation because I felt like I did a bad job.
So, spoiler alert, we both passed our presentations, and we can prove that because we graduated.
Yeah, take that, naysayers. That was lame. I'm sorry. Anyways, so yeah, that's pretty much what my project was like. What was, well, I know about your project already, but sort of like, could you like talk, well, not really talk, but like tell the audience sort of, what yours was?
So, what my senior project was about, because your senior project has to revolve around an essential question that you want to answer. Mine was, how have special effects changed the film industry over the years? And that's because, like, I don't want, toot my own horn, but I'm basically the editor, or I was the editor for the school, basically. Like, people would always come to me for, like, help with, like, editing videos and things like that, so I figured I'd kind of, like, explore a field that I've never really tried before, which is special effects that are beyond just, like, color correction and blur and, things like that. I want to get, like, a little more advanced with my editing, so I figured that'd kind of be a good fit for me.
And you showed me some of like sort of the process of making your effects and making your film stuff. There's a lot that goes into it. Like
the video
way
was
more
like,
than you'd think.
well, I think the video was like 5-ish minutes long, and I had like I had over
roughly
20.
The same as me.
I had over 20 layers like on top of each other, like of effects that went into it.
It looked pretty good, honestly. For like, I'm assuming that this was sort of like your first time going really in depth when it comes to effects.
Oh, it definitely is. Like like
It looks really good, actually.
Like I made most of the like effects that you saw in it like by hand. There were a couple that I used as like stock images and like stock animations just because like they take forever to do, and in the film industry there are literally like multiple like tens of teams like dedicated just to the post-production special effects. And I took it all like and did everything in a school year to make this video, so it was like
you just needed to work with what you got.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. I guess when I say this, I don't really know if you agree, but the most entertaining thing for a senior project, at least for me, well, there's actually like two things. One, it was the film day, because we were working with our actors and were having fun, but we were also getting like work done, stuff like that. Like I have this whole blooper reel of just messed up lines and stuff, and just us acting like doofuses, and it's one of my favorite like just clips that I've put together.
Mm-hmm.
There's also just that feeling of when you're presenting in front of all the other students and you look over at your panel and your mentor holds up the 20-minute card. Like, you feel like you can breathe.
Yeah. Because while you're doing your presentation, you have the option of, your panel holding up cards at different, like, checkpoints. So there's, like, 5 minutes, 10, 15, 20. And I think there's, like, a 22 card, like, so, you know, you're, like, speaking. You know, you should probably, like, wrap up pretty soon. But yeah, like,
did you ever get that card?
I don't know if I did. I remember getting the 20 and literally just being like, okay, I'm done.
Oh, because I got the 22-minute one and I panicked.
Oh, I didn't get to see yours because, I was actually busy
You're
filming.
lame.
I was busy filming someone else's presentation.
For a documentary, which you can find linked below, if it's uploaded, it's probably not, but...
Actually, no, I was busy filming Ryan's presentation because, his mom is out of the state and apparently she wanted to see it, even though she couldn't make it, so I was asked to film his for him so that he could show his mama.
Yeah, for anyone wondering, Ryan was... Well, the Ryan that we're referring to was the Ryan from episode 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good boy. Anyways... I don't... Hey, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be nice, even though he's a piece of anime trash and I hate him. Anyway.
Yeah, but, yeah, senior projects...
Ryan, that's cool. A lie. We love you. Come back to the show. It'd be great to have you as a guest again.
But yeah, senior projects are pretty cool, and, the people I was making it for, Reaching Higher New Hampshire, they're basically, like, one of the people who, like, decide what the education is in New Hampshire, which is where we live. And from what I've been hearing from, like, the people I've been working with, senior projects are not only going to be advertised to other schools in New Hampshire, but it has the potential of being shown, basically, around America, and could be, like, something picked up by a bunch of other schools.
In other words, if you're listening to this and you saw some kind of documentary about it, there's a chance that Jake worked on it.
Yep.
Then you look at me, and the biggest thing I ever made was a meme compilation for Christmas.
Hey, everybody loved that meme compilation.
You say everybody as if that includes me.
But, yeah, so when I figure out when it's up and where it is, I'll put it into the description of this video, and if it ever comes up again, put it into the...
video.
Put it into the...
Are you sure this is a video?
Whoopsies.
Here, I'll fix it for you. Yeah, description. In the description of the SoundCloud thing. But, we're going to keep all that in, please.
Yeah, we're keeping that in, but,
Yeah, mainly because we need to fill time. Anyway.
Yeah, but, anyway, I'm just gonna move us off of, senior projects for now.
Yeah, we've been talking about that for a while.
But, yeah, we are, graduate students now. We've graduated high school, and you're gonna be
We can't believe it either.
We're gonna be going off to college next year.
We can't believe it either.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's... I don't know. Like, I know that a lot of people... So, after graduation, there's a sort of overnight celebration thing for seniors. And I know that at the end of it, a lot of people got emotional. Sort of just being like, this is the last time that our class is going to be really together like that. And, like, I said goodbye, and I said, like, I've missed you and everything. And I mean that, like, wholeheartedly. But, like... For whatever reason, that emotional impact hasn't hit me until recently, where I woke up and I was just like, oh man, I'm not going to see these people. And like, that kind of emotional thing, it was just, it kind of hurt for a little bit. But then it was also sort of the thought of, I'm going to college, I'm going to be seeing new people, new opportunities, things like that. If I cross paths with anyone from my grade, it'd be super cool just to talk for a little bit. But yeah.
For me, like the big emotional thing that kind of like hit me the hardest was when like you would sign people's yearbooks and they would sign yours, and like it was basically one of like two things: either they were a good friend that like you're gonna look back on it and be like, oh, I remember this person, we had a lot of good times, or it's gonna be someone you didn't really know very well and you're going to realize, wow, I didn't really get to know this person, but like, you know, they're asking me to write in their yearbook. That kind of like means something, why they asked you in particular.
Jake, I got like crazy emotional when you wrote in my yearbook, because we have a few inside jokes, and his what he wrote in mine is a combination of a few of like my favorites.
That was kind of like something.
And
that was kind of something I wanted to do in all of the yearbooks I signed, because like, as much as I would want to get like super emotional, like those are the good times. Like the inside jokes you have, the little just kind of jokes that you tell between you and that person. It's kind of like, I want them to, you know, feel a little good when they read it in like a couple of years, if they ever do.
yeah, that's like that's how I signed everybody's yearbook. Was I was emotional, but I also had like sort of like some comedy with spun onto it, like in Ethan's, which I know we say this every episode, but we are going to try to make an effort in order to get him on at some point. It's just that his schedule is very unpredictable. But anyways, I got Ethan's yearbook, and one thing that we usually do is we stay up fairly late just playing some random free-to-play game that he finds, and it doesn't matter if it's garbage or not, we just mess around and have fun with it.
Yeah.
So I signed his yearbook with, there's nobody else I would rather stay up until 3 a.m. with playing some crappy Halo knockoff. And he really appreciated it. And then he wrote his, and it was very heartfelt, and I almost cried.
And another kind of like additional layer to add to what Corey wrote, Halo is one of Ethan's, like, if not Ethan's, like, favorite series ever, and he's done like a ton of things with Halo, like, just throughout the years that we know about.
Yeah, he's created many maps.
We shouldn't spoil it for when he gets on one of the episodes.
Yeah.
Let's
there are
just
some
say,
cool things that happen with him.
Let's just say he's a big figure in the Halo community. That's where we should leave it.
Well, bigger than before, at least.
Yeah, but, you know, he's still, like, it's impressive the things he's done, but we shouldn't spoil it, you know?
Oh, hell yeah. If you want to hear more, then just wait for the Ethan episode, which hopefully will be soon.
Yeah.
But,
especially since it's the summer, and we are planning on doing weekly uploads, which we've already messed up.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a
We're
reason
horrible
for that.
people. We know that.
I went on a very short mini vacation last week, and that was kind of like during the days we would normally film, so it wouldn't have really worked out too well if we tried fitting it in.
Film?
You know,
you sure about that?
I was a film student in high school, and I'm going to a college for film.
Yeah, I'm going to college to be a teacher.
Give me a little slack.
Hey, it's part of what I want to do in the future to correct people. So I'm getting used to it now.
I'll be correcting the cameraman's mistakes.
I mean, so will I. I'm going to be teaching film.
Anyway, so
tangents ahoy.
But yeah, basically last week wouldn't have really worked, which is very unfortunate, and maybe we should have planned for that, but we're just people. We make mistakes sometimes, and, you know, it happens.
I feel like, though, if there is going to be like a period of time where we're not going to be able to release an episode a given week, like we're both going to be busy or whatever, we should like record ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, that's one thing that I kind of wanted to prevent, like, because one thing that I want to do eventually with this show is have a very heavy focus on audience, like, say, and sort of like what they want to do and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And pre-recording doesn't really allow that, but I'm still open to sort of like experimenting, you know?
And I mean, like, we're like talking to each other now in like a Discord call while we're recording on both ends, because like we kind of wanted to keep in mind, like, if we ever want to do, like, a live podcast kind of thing and have people listening in on it, we thought that'd be kind of just, like, a cool idea to let people listen to us in time to see, like, what actually, how things start out, you know?
Yeah. And sort of have, like, maybe eventually chat interactions or, you know, do these live. But that really depends on what happens in the future.
Yeah, and we
And
don't
that's
really,
kind of, like, unpredictable.
and we don't really see ourselves as being like we're definitely not like a big, you know, podcast. You know,
And that's not our expectation.
yeah,
If anything, we're doing this for fun.
yeah, we're just doing it because we can, and you know, we thought we might try our hand at it, kind of get a little bit of experience and stuff. But like we kind of we like to have hopes and especially like plan for the future if things do happen to come up. But you know,
But it's not our expectation that we're going to get there.
Like even this update, like pretty much, I mean, like at this point in time, like there wouldn't be too many people who'd really like think much about it, but like it probably wouldn't be a bad thing to just like get into the habit of like taking things more seriously and almost putting like a more professional light over it, just kind of like prepare us for, you know, if in the future we do actually like grow to be, you know, noticeable podcast creators, you know.
Yeah, and I mean it's fun to sort of think like, you know, what if or when this happens and that kind of thing. But I kind of like to think like not like that because I feel like I catch myself in a loop, if that makes sense. Sort of just being like, oh, if I do this, then this will happen, and this will happen, but I need to do this, and then this will happen, and this will happen. And like I'm constantly sort of like circling back where it's like I'm expecting all of this to happen just because I said a few words into a microphone. Like that's happened so much before to the point where a lot of projects I wanted to work on, I just stopped. That was one thing that kind of like prevented me from getting into animation and stuff like that. It's because I went in with the mentality of I'm going to draw 2 lines and then I'm going to be part of this like prestigious studio. Like that's not how it works.
Yeah. I mean, like I kind of like to think positively into the future because I feel like part of like deciding whether or not you get big is kind of like based on your attitude. And I'm not saying like, you know, if you're like talking to yourself and you're like, I want to be, you know, a popular this when I, you know, in the future, like that's not all it's gonna take, but you kind of need like that almost like fake it till you make it mentality because like, you know, like, we could just like dick around and have like no formula or, you know, anything like that. Not
Which
really
is
care.
honestly what we do already.
Which we do, but like we at least do it on purpose, you know.
Well, it's not really on purpose. It's just that we're too lazy to write outlines anymore.
I mean, it's just kind of like who we are, and we're not like pretending to be like people. We're just being ourselves, basically, to a microphone and recording it.
Yeah, and if people like to hear us, then they hang out, and that's cool.
And that kind
and
of
I have
formula,
mad respect.
And that kind of formula works out a lot with the podcasts we listen to. So we figured we'd kind of try our hands at it being, you know, interesting people who are told that they're funny for some reason.
I still don't believe that, but like, that's fine. Anyways, so as far as podcast sort of like schedules are going, we're going to try our best to maintain weekly from this point on.
We're gonna aim
college starts in the fall.
We're gonna aim for weekly throughout the summer. And I believe for both of us, college doesn't start until sometime in September.
Yes.
Which for me, since the college I'm going to is not local, I'll be moving to my dorm at some point. Probably like late. What's the month that comes before September? August.
Septemble. Septemble! No! Jake! You gotta keep that in! Septemble! Can that be the name of the episode, please? But yeah, it's August.
So in August, I'll have to move into my dorm, and I might be able to like do stuff there, but I don't really know enough about the place to know if that'd be like a super doable thing right off the bat. But throughout, basically until then, we do hope on doing weekly updates, or weekly, not updates, weekly podcasts, and kind of like to get us used to like that more rigorous workflow, and to kind of like in the future, if we do get big, we might want to just move to weekly podcasts. But for now, we're just gonna kind of like during the basically for this season essentially, since we'll pretend that 2 month hiatus was its thing. We'll basically treat
think of that like a summer finale.
Yeah.
Like when shows take hiatus until like the winter. That's kind of just what's happening. Once we get into college, I don't know about Jake's schedule, but mine's pretty freeform as far as college life goes. So I'd probably still be able to jump on mic. And heck, maybe because the college show you're going to is like very like heavily like art oriented. Maybe there's like a recording studio that you could use, so you have an even better mic than I'll ever have.
Oh, there's definitely plenty of recording studios. They spend like
oh yeah, definitely.
But I'm not gonna go too much into it. But I'm pretty sure I'll have like at least one day where I can get recording, even if it's like on a Friday and we release on Thursday, so we have to record like a week ahead. Like it'll still be like some time,
Imagine if I just showed up at your college and just recorded at least one episode with you, like in person.
I would say that would be pretty cool. Except the problem is it's in Boston, so good luck finding a place to go in Boston.
Yeah, true. Well, it's more just like just traveling there, like visit for a day, record a podcast.
Or if you ever go to PAX again, I'll be literally right there.
Which, I mean, that's what I was kind of hoping, is that, like, because you're right there, we'd be able to, like, hang out during the, like, 3 days of PAX. Like, I get a 3-day pass and we just hang out.
Like, I think a perfect kind of, like, scenario that would happen is, like, assuming is, like, if the people in my dorm were, like, cool with it, you guys could even just, like, crash at my place. And that would work out almost perfectly.
Yeah.
Because
I'd probably stay in a hotel. I don't trust people.
Because just as like almost like a like mini like tangent a little bit, I'm going to Emerson College, and the dorm style that they have there is like for most dorms it's like a suite. Still have bedrooms on like the same floor, but it'll have like things like that. Kind of as opposed to like separate like rooms, it's more just kind of like bedrooms of the common area.
Oh, okay.
So it wouldn't even be like impossible for like you and a couple of our friends. Well, maybe not too many, but like for like some of the people who do go like all 3 days to like maybe even find a place to crash in the dorm.
I don't know. I might just commute back and forth. I don't know.
I just thought that'd be cool as like a little like get together,
That'd be. I mean, I'd be down for that, but that's in the future, and we were, I find it ironic that we're pretty much ending this episode the way that we had our entire first episode be about PAX. Yeah. Or like predictions, at least. That's kind of funny. Anyways, long story short, we're going to be trying to do weekly uploads during the summer. Once college starts, we'll see what our schedules are and how they'll align.
We might have another mini hiatus as we try to like get things figured out, but we'll definitely give people notice when that happens.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Also, as far as content for episodes, there's definitely going to be a lot of stuff to talk about, seeing how it's the summer. Also, that's the summer. Expect like quite a few more guests, maybe a few returns. Sort of like I mentioned earlier, it'd be fun to have like Ryan or Kaylin back on again. Because they were super nice, and they're our friends, so it'd be pretty easy, honestly, to get them.
It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and also, we promise that Ethan will be on by the end of the summer. If he is not, then we failed.
Yeah, but he's a pretty cool person, so we'll try to get him We'll try to keep our content pretty usual, kind of keep it like entertainment focused and media focused, and probably game related in some way, but also like talk about what our guests want to talk about depending on what they're interested, as you saw with like Ryan and Kaylin, things like that.
Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you for listening to sort of this update. To be honest, though, we were rambling quite a bit. But, yeah. I mean...
It's just a casual update, really.
Well, yeah. Because, like we said earlier, we don't really... For this update, we were just kind of like, we should inform everybody, but we don't want to make it sound too formal, because that's kind of off-putting, you know?
Like, we're keeping it professional, but we're not making ourselves to be bigger than we are, just kind of like getting ourselves used to the idea if we do end up like doing this to a larger audience in the future.
Yeah, the way that I like to think is it's like, I like businesses, they have like sort of like casual Fridays or casual Thursdays or whatever.
Yeah.
We're like a prestigious business, but casual Thursdays like every day. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week. As for if we have a guest or not, we're not sure, but hopefully you'll stay tuned.
Yeah.
See you next time.
See you.